Introducing the Fantasy Sport Doctors with your hosts, Dr. Mitch Brecky, Dr. Nick Curry, and Dr. Nick Healy. Welcome to the clinic. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Hey, hey, hey! Welcome, welcome.
You didn't jump the gun this time.
You know, you learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Pull back on the reins.
Yeah,
That's right.
Whoa, Daddy, whoa.
It takes a couple weeks, like 5, to finally get it.
You know, I just get so excited. It's week 5. We're winning money.
Yep.
Things going right for us.
We had a lot of lineups in the money this week. Dr. Healy popped a $100 winner.
A $100 winner.
That greens is filling my pockets. Loving it. Loving it.
Was that Fanduel, DraftKings? Where'd you win that one?
That was in DraftKings. I decided to do a double up.
Nice.
And it turned out well for me.
So you were doing a $50 double up.
Yep. Exactly.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
And see how it
Stay
played out well.
aggressive.
It
Played out well.
It paid out well for us. So obviously last week we all had a pretty good week. We'll talk a lot this week about the people that we recommended for you guys to play, and obviously we played them as well, and we're hoping everyone had as much success as we did. What do we got for drinks here?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We are drinking Grainbelt Lock and Dam Lager. It's a new one that came out this fall. It's pretty dang good.
Tastes pretty good.
It's at New Ulm, Minnesota, from the Shells Brewery, since the Shells took over Grainbelt, but it is nice and smooth. Yeah. Does a damn good job.
Looks like we also got a home brew here. Shout out to all our home brewers out there.
Home brews.
Mr. Green's Finest IPA. So thank you, Mr. Green, for donating the IPAs for us. We love them.
Very good.
Oh, nice smoky, smooth
Yeah,
taste.
little smooth, smoky finish.
Like oaky at the end, all of it. Very smooth, not too strong on the bite with the hops.
We're going to give you the applause.
Yeah,
Nice work,
cheers,
Mr. Green. So, let's go into our subjective portion. We're going to highlight what we did right and what we did wrong last week. I think we're all in agreement. We missed out on Julio Jones.
I think, yeah.
I wish we called that, but you can't call them all.
Hard to predict that one.
We didn't say anything bad about him.
No, that's true.
Just nothing good.
No.
Yeah, we didn't say anything bad, but nothing good. You're right. Yeah.
But we had plenty of guys that we did hit on. This includes Hunter Henry, AJ Green, Philip Dorsett, Greg Olson, Melvin Gordon. If you had these guys in your lineups like we did, it killed it. We were in the cast for FanDuel. If you literally took our FanDuel lineups, you won money. That was having Cam Newton. He still got over 15 points with being injured. We had a Melvin Gordon getting 20 points. We got Matt Jones getting over 20 points. We had AJ Green getting 28. Kelvin Benjamin, double digits. We had Philip Dorsett coming through with that late touchdown with 13 points. Henry had 14. Gano had 7. The Vikings Z had 8 to come up with 139.3 points, and that was in the money for us.
Love it. That was a ballsy call with AJ Green on a Thursday night game, short week. I was tough to predict who's going to be the scorer in that game, but
there wasn't a lot of big scores, but AJ Green was the one.
He was my essential.
I tell you what, that was a great call on your part. That was a great call.
It was a great call. So, personal records, obviously we talked a little bit about it. I won $40 combined in DraftKings and FanDuel. Dr. Healy, how much did you win last week?
Well, I won my $50 double up, so I won $50 there, but then I won in 3 different tournaments, and those totaled another $12, so it was $112 in my pocket.
$112 win in 1 week.
Yeah, we're not going to talk how I did, but
it's okay.
I don't think I played nearly as many lineups as these guys over here, but
that's okay.
Yeah, I was in the money in a couple of $4 winners. I was in the $12 range there for a little while, and then fell out of that. But you know what? You keep playing the formula that we're putting out here for you, you're going to have big lineups that pop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's statistically showing the number of people are going to be scoring in the games that we're giving you our prescriptions with. You're going to find the money.
And you may not win every single game you play, so you're going to probably have to play multiple lineups.
Yep.
However, and you're probably not going to win, like, first place in every single lineup you play. I can almost guarantee that.
But that's why you play the cash games to bank that other stuff.
Yep. But you know what? If you're winning money consistently, if you could come ahead $30 a week for 16 weeks, you're up almost $400 at the end of the year.
Actually.
There you go.
How many season-long fantasy leagues can you say that about?
Exactly. But another thing I want to mention, just because I was feeling pretty good on Sunday evening once I found out that I won that $100.
bet you were.
I decided I'm going to go out of the limb here, and I'm going to play a Monday and Thursday game combo.
Oh, well, top of the morning to you.
I was really happy when I woke up. But so I'm currently playing the Monday game with the Vikings that just had, and I killed it in that because I had Rudolph, I had McKinnon in both my lineups. And then I'm waiting for tomorrow night to see. I'm in the money right now. Let's see if that pays off for me.
Who do you need tomorrow night?
I have Carlos Hyde. I have David Johnson in both of them.
Swing.
And then I split it. I have Fitzgerald in one, and I have Brown in one. And I decided to take one of San Francisco's wide receivers.
Ooh, who'd you take?
That was Curly because he's going to get a lot of receptions, and then it's PPR at one point. So we'll see how that goes.
There you go. I like your odds.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to our objective portion. Every week we'll pick the top projected scoring teams by Vegas. This is done by taking the over and under and the spread of all 16 games and identifying the top 6 scoring teams favored by Vegas odds makers. Dr. Healy, take us away.
All right. Our number one scoring game of the week. That's going to be the New England Patriots against the Cleveland Browns. New England Patriots are going to be favored by 10 points in this one, and they are expected to score 28.25 points. How are they going to do this against the Browns, Dr. Mitch?
All right, Browns are opening up with Brady's first game back. I love everything about the New England Patriots in this game.
Everything.
Yep. I love it. You got the Browns. They, in ranked statistically this year so far, week 5 now, we're really getting a taste for what these defenses are actually. Are they good or they're not? Sample size is getting a little bigger. Against the pass, the Browns are giving up 259 yards per game, and they're giving up the third most. They've given up the third most touchdowns in passing, 10 in 4 weeks. This lines up beautifully for playing Tom Brady. I love matching him up with an Edelman, and I like leaning a little bit more towards Martellus Bennett this week too as well. Gronk has been talking about a little bit about a hamstring being an issue, kind of lingering. He hasn't really done much of anything. Obviously, the quarterback situation for him hasn't been feeding him the ball that much. Gronk wouldn't be a terrible play, but for the value, I think I like Martellus Bennett here. I would stay away from the running backs this week a little bit with when it comes to the Patriots.
LeGarrette Blount
is fighting some injury with the hip, they're saying. If you did go with a guy would go with White.
He's going to be low owned. And
he's going to catch more balls out of the backfield. I think you gravitate more towards him with Brady being back. They play a 3-4 base. It's going to open up the middle of the field for them. I like Edelman dinking dunking down the field like he does, and I like the tight ends. Those are working the middle of the field. Brady's back, and I think this is what the Patriots do. They come out, and they're like, screw you, Goodell. This is what it's going to take. Brady's been gone.
Is he going to mic drop it?
Oh, God. They're going to be – I could see this game. They're up by 30 points, and they're still out there just hucking the ball deep just to try to put as many points on the board. It's going to be first and goal from this 2-yard line, and he's going to want to get Brady the stats. He's not going to run the ball. I want to get as many touchdowns for Brady.
Blunt's got enough already.
Yeah, it's going to be a Brady show. I am on board with it.
In my 24 years of life, I'm better at life than you.
He's just tired to hear about it.
And that's what the Patriots do. McDaniels and him, they're just going to be like, they're going to put it to Goodell. They're going to be like, screw you, and they're just going to piss pound the Bills. And it's all going to be through Brady. The Browns.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be Brady's show.
Looking at this, I really like the Patriots this week. We haven't had the Patriots in the highest projected points totals, I think probably because Brady's been gone. Now that he's back, Vegas odds makers make him literally the highest scoring team. So obviously that shows you how much they think Brady's worth. And I think he's going to be angry. He's going to be in shape. The guy's been doing this for 15, 20 years.
Well, he's been on the boat.
I think Giselle's keeping him in shape. I think working him a little bit.
I think week 3 he was on the yacht in Europe and
throwing a few balls to his son deep.
I found a good stat about the offense from last year compared to this year. This year, without Tom Brady, they have run the ball third most in the league. Almost third most heavily running.
I could see that.
Yeah. Last year, they were the second heaviest passing team, and I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to be shifting their offense.
Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yep, exactly. All right.
For all those people out there in season-long leagues, this is a great time to try and trade for Brady or Edelman.
I love Edelman. You can probably get him for pretty cheap right now. But you better do it now because after this week, I guarantee.
Yeah, Edelman's one of Brady's favorite targets, and we all really love the Brady Edelman matchup here, and they're going to come together. I think they're going to put points on the board.
All right, so we're on to game number 2. This is going to be the Packers against the Giants. The over/under in this game is 48 points, and Packers are projected to win, and the projected score 27.75 points.
All right, we got the Packers and the G-Men. G-Men are running a 4-3 base scheme. They got Spagnuolo as their defensive coordinator. He's a very aggressive defensive coordinator. Brings a lot of pressure off the ends. I like this matchup with Aaron Rodgers. He's a veteran quarterback who can pick up a lot of these blitz packages that he's going to be coming at him. You look at what the Vikings did in a short week, or what they did last week in Monday night.
Dominated.
They did pretty good. It's a good defensive showing by the Vikings, but a newer quarterback in Sam Bradford, who was just an assistant for a couple weeks, what he did to this defense. Eli Apple was out. I don't even know if he's going to be coming back this week with a defense for the Giants. I think the Packers can definitely run up. A couple players I do like in this game, Jordy being one.
I love Jordy.
You can't go wrong with Rodgers. And on the flip side of the ball, I know this is kind of outside of our scheme and what we do. I could see Odell Beckham having a huge bounce back game.
I think he could too.
He's due.
The Pack don't have a great defensive coordinator or defensive scheme. They're not the best versus the pass. So OBJ, if you're willing to spend a little bit extra money for him and think that he's going to have a breakout week, I think he's going to.
A good tight end in this one too because Jared Cook is out. Yep. So it's going to be Richard Rodgers.
Yep.
He's cheap. He's about $5,000 in Fanduel. He's not that expensive nearly in DraftKings. He's costing you $2,900.
Looking at the Giants and who they've played, they played Dallas. First game of the year against a rookie quarterback. Then they played the Saints, and they only put up 16 points on the Saints, and we all know how good their defense is. Then they played Washington, and they lost to Washington. Then they played the Vikings, and they only put 10 points on the Vikings. They're giving up between 15 and 30 points a game. I see the Packers with a 3-man wide receiver set. I see them exposing the Giants a little bit this week, and I think the Packers could definitely move the ball pretty well on the Giants. I expect this one to be a very high-scoring game.
Very high-scoring, especially Aaron Rodgers, as much as it kills me to say it, when he's in prime time, he kills it. He's like Favre. For whenever he was in prime time, he kills it. I'm expecting him to score at least 3 touchdowns, a throw for 3 touchdowns, and probably have over 300 yards passing.
There you go.
All right, we got our next game here. This is going to be Pittsburgh against the New York Jets. Pittsburgh's favored by 7 points in this one, and the over/under is 48. We have Pittsburgh scoring 27.5 points. Dr. Mitch, take it away.
All right. Steelers versus Jets. Steelers 27 points here. There's a couple things I want to say about this. The Jets running a 3-4 scheme. You have a lot of linebackers being able to run freely, fill in holes. Hence, they have the second best rush defense in the entire league this year right now. Okay. I would steer clear of Le'Veon.
He's pricey.
He's pricey, and you're going against a very stout run defense in the Jets. Stay away from D. Williams. I like Antonio Brown and Sammy Coates.
They're ranked 27th in the league in pass?
I believe so, yep. Now, they're giving up 285 yards per game, and they've given up 8 touchdowns in 4 weeks to the pass. So I think if you're going to scheme and take players from the Steelers game, you go wide out and you go Big Ben. You stay away from the run game. Even though the Steelers do like to get the run game going, it's going to be tough versus the Jets this week.
Yeah, I mean, I love Antonio Brown. It's hard not to. The guy's on fire. He's the best wide receiver in the league. You're going to have to pay for him. I mean, $9,800 in DraftKings. He's by far the most expensive player. If you're going to play Antonio Brown, you're going to have to make up ground in other places. We'll talk maybe kind of a value running back here later on that maybe you can make up some ground after picking Antonio Brown. But I love Sammy Coates here. He's the guy who's going to be on the outside going deep. The Steelers and Big Ben haven't been afraid to throw the ball deep. I think he's been throwing the ball at least Coates, 2 or 3 times deep, and I could see Sammy Coates coming away with at least a touchdown here.
I'm really expecting this to be a close game. I think if you were taking the spread, I'd probably actually take the Jets in this one. Both have high-powered passing offensive, and even with Decker's out, I think Enunwa is kind of a sneaky, cheaper play as well if you're trying to sneak somebody in there for your lineup. All right, next play, we have San Diego Chargers against the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders are favored by 3.5 points in this one. The over-under is 50. This is projected overall to be the highest scoring game at 50 points. And we have Oakland scoring 26.75 points to take it home.
All right, so I'm going to be breaking down the Chargers defense on this, but I think we can all agree with this. We wouldn't be upset with you taking players from the Chargers team either.
No.
The Raiders defense is subpar in many measures. It's going to be the most points scored in the entire league this week in this game. So could go either way. I'm going to focus more of our picks towards the Raiders, give you a couple with the Chargers, but talk about the Chargers defense. And starting with that is the injury report for the Chargers defense. Jason Verrett today, partially torn ACL, having season-ending knee surgery. So
Ouch.
that's their Darrelle Revis. If you don't know who Jason Verrett is, he's a guy that's going to shadow your top guy, and he is definitely one of the top 5 corners in the league.
That's going to leave lanes open.
He's gone for the season.
Now
that leaves the next guy in line is a Brandon Flowers, who didn't even play last week because of concussion protocol, and he's not even cleared for this week. That goes down to Hayward, who primarily has played in the slot. He used to play for the Packers. Pretty good guy, but you're looking at here, you're not really sure who's going to be your 2 top starting guys going against a high-powered offensive, or at least a passing attack of the Raiders from what happened last week, and David Carr has been really coming into his own. The Chargers actually only give about 82 yards rushing on average for rushing, but they've given up 7 touchdowns. The Chargers are giving up 8 touchdowns to the passing offenses against them the first 4 games, and 289 yards per game.
The thing is about the Chargers, I kind of get weird about with what Phillip Rivers is doing. I think he's going to score points, but he's been pretty inconsistent. He's having a lot of opportunity to score a lot of points, especially in DraftKings and Fanduel. He just hasn't done it.
It's always hard to watch a team lose a game. I mean, they were up. They should have won that game on Sunday.
Yep.
Multiple fumbles kill them in the fourth quarter to lose that game.
Those are things you can't
Look
predict.
what they did in week 1 against Kansas City. Kansas City came back from like 27 points, a 27-3 lead they had, and came back and won that game. They don't know how to finish the game, and that's why I don't really trust too much in Phillip Rivers, but I also think that's why I think David Carr is going to be crushing it.
And what's crazy is if you look at fantasy points, of a whole game, a lot of times you make up ground and you make up a lot of your fantasy points and can push you into the cash in that last 5 minutes of a game. Realistically, I mean,
the junk points.
Sometimes,
Exactly.
Sometimes it is. So
I mean, look what Phillip Dorsett did last week. I mean, he got one catch for 64 yards and a touchdown.
There you go.
We got lucky. We got lucky there.
All right, next game we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos are favored by 6 points. Over/under is 47, and the Denver Broncos are projected to score 26.5 points. Take it away.
All right, so Falcons defense, couple takes with this. They're the second worst in yards allowed versus the pass, with 317 each game, or average. They've given up 13 touchdown passes. It's the worst in the league in the first 4 weeks. Rushing, giving up 102 average, about middle of the pack with 2 rushing touchdowns. Okay, so the injury report, Witherspoon, the middle linebacker for Atlanta, is doubtful, I believe. He may even be out. They've had other injuries to their linebacking
like 3 or 4 injuries within that core.
You have to look at the linebackers in the defense. They're kind of like your quarterbacks. If you don't have them there, they're not going to put the defense in the correct calls. And you're already the worst pass defense. I love Denver in any quarterback that starts for them this week.
We'll be talking about that a little later. I like that.
They're both under the low-valued quarterbacks. I like either of them. I think C.J. Anderson needs to be playing every single one of your lineups.
Absolutely. He catches the ball
Emmanuel
and
Sanders
runs the
is
ball.
great.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about it later. I know I'm touching a lot of players here.
You got to go with a little tease out there. You don't like a little tease?
Well, not to mention Dr. Mitch really likes the Broncos.
Yeah, a little bit. But either way, another take on this, some of the strong points of Denver's defense versus the Falcons, they have one of the best pass rushes, especially on the edge, obviously Von Miller. Atlanta's offensive line, one of the smallest in the entire league, and has terrible tackle play in the last 4 games. I think they're going to get a lot of pressure on Matt Ryan. They're not going to be able to do much. That's why I like Denver's defense as well in this matchup.
I'm not like Matt Ryan at all this week, and I have him in a couple of my actual regular fantasy lineups.
I think it's going to pull a lot of people to him after what they did.
I've been thinking about honestly starting Carson Wentz over him or some other plays because I just don't trust him with that defense.
Well, let me drop this on you. The Falcons are averaging 38 points a game. So they're going to put up points on the Denver Broncos. It's just a question of how many points are they going to put up. And can Paxton Lynch or Trevor Siemian keep up with...
I think the C-Man can do it.
I'd be surprised if they put more than 25 up.
That's fine.
I'd be surprised if they put 20 up.
The games that the Falcons are playing, the over-under, if you will, the average over-under is 69 points a game through 4 games this year. So if it were me looking at this 47 over-under, I mean, I think they're thinking that this is going to be one of those games where the Denver defense is actually going to give up some yards and give up some points.
But look at the defense of who they've been playing. They played New Orleans, who's cabbage. They played Carolina, who's not very good. They're
very good.
No, last year they were very good, but look what they've done this year. They haven't done much. They're not the same defense.
Guy is drunk.
The guy's drunk. This guy's drunk.
Carolina's defensive backs are not nearly the same. Without Josh Norman, they're not the same quality. But who knows? Maybe they can do it. But I'm with Dr. Mitch on this. I don't think they're going to score more than 24 points or even close to that. All right, so we're on the last game for the weekend, and that's going to be the Chicago Bears that are at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are favored by 4.5, and the over-under is 47.5 points. And we have Indianapolis scoring 26 points. This is a hot, cold game for me.
It's a cold game for me.
It's a very cold game for me.
I look at this. Yeah. Toilet bowl.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the Colts. They've been in a part of our formula for the last 4 weeks.
We've been really high on them, and then every time they kick us in the balls.
My breakdown for this week is I'm not touching a Colts player is what's happening.
What happens is every Monday and Tuesday we're all like, oh, hey, high five. The Colts are going to be awesome. And then Sunday rolls around. It's like kicking the nuts.
Yeah.
Until the fourth quarter where they, thank God, get some garbage points.
The Bears are terrible. They have a lot of injuries, but they actually played the Lions pretty well. The Motor City Kitties. I mean, they're not a very good team either. So.
No, but their offense was about top 5 in the league with passing offense.
Yeah, either way, I'm going to wait till someone shows me something on the Colts team before I ever pick them again.
Okay.
That's exactly my breakdown for you this week.
All right. Let's move on from that because no one really cares about them.
They are high on the Colts in Vegas on scoring a lot of points because they have a decent amount of firepower and weapons when you talk about Luck and Hilton and Dorsett, but they haven't shown us anything. And
not since week 1. It's been pretty sad.
We're going to talk
really lucky.
We're going to talk more about this Colts team later, I think. So moving on, we're going to get into the assessment portion real
Objective
quickly.
Person.
No.
Oh, assessment. Yeah, you're right.
Nope. Come on, Dr. Nick.
Sorry, I'm good.
So the assessment portion where we break down our tournament and cash games. Basically, we're going to break down the games that you guys should be playing on a week-to-week basis. For us and for our prescription to win, we're playing the DraftKings $1.3 million play action. It's a $3 buy-in. I think you have the ability to win $100,000 if you take first place.
Oh.
FanDuel, we're doing a $2 buy-in. It's a $75,000 Sunday NFL safety. I believe it's only a single entry, which is kind of nice because you can't get those people who are just picking tons and tons of lineups. So.
Hence the safety.
Yeah, hence the safety. So, again, these will be our tournament picks for the week. Fight or flight player.
All right, we got our fight or flight players here. My fight or flight player for tournament games, this all kind of depends on what Tom Brady does, but I think he could go off or maybe not. LeGarrette Blount is going to be my fight or flight. He's costing you $7,500 in FanDuel. The reason being is because Cleveland is the 24th ranked rushing defense in the NFL, giving up 118.3 yards per game. That's almost 4.3 yards per carry. This last week, they let Matt Jones for 22 carries, 170 yards, and a touchdown. LeGarrette Blount is a more talented back than what Matt Jones is, and if just in case they're trying to slow Brady in. I doubt that's going to happen. He could go off, or he might be a dud.
LeGarrette Blount has a hip injury, so we'll see if he even makes it out there on Sunday.
Big fighter flight.
Big fighter flight. I would also throw James White in there if you wanted to throw any New England running back in there.
Full point PPR, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
he just hasn't done that much so far, so I just kept with Blount.
Brady hasn't been playing with him, so
True. It's a mix. It's a mix. You don't know what to do with that.
I'm going to stick with the same team on my fight or flight for my tournament plays. I'm going Martellus Bennett. He's been a part of the offense here for the last 3 weeks. With Gronk still having a little bit of a nagging hamstring possibilities. What did we talk about? We read. We were learning about some of the packages that they were doing in camp.
2 tight end sets.
2 tight end sets. They were saying they were in those 2 tight end sets about 75 to 80% of their plays they were running in camp. Now this is before Brady was gone. I think they're going to utilize Martellus just as much as they're utilizing Gronk. And as a defense, who are you going to double team? Gronk. Now he still gets targets, but I think Martellus is going to be, for his value, he's going to be huge. He's already shown some of it with piss poor quarterback play. Well, he's not Tom Brady play.
Honestly, I mean, Gronkowski, Martellus Bennett, Julian Edelman, Hogan. I mean, all 4 of them could catch a touchdown this weekend.
I mean, you got a Hall of Fame quarterback throwing you the ball, and Martellus is a huge target. 2 tight end sets. They're going to double Gronk. I like Martellus Bennett.
Not only a Hall of Fame quarterback, but one's out to prove something.
Yeah, exactly.
If Martellus Bennett gets in the end zone, he's like $3,700. So, I mean, if he gets in the end zone,
on DraftKings.
$2,800 cheaper than what you're going to get for Gronk. And Gronk's dealing with a hamstring injury, which at any time you can re-aggravate.
Yeah, if he's in the end
I don't
zone,
think he's going to have the downhill speed
good.
like he did. So,
my fight or flight is going to be Sammy Coates from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's only $3,600. I believe Eli Rogers is going to be sitting out again this week with a toe injury. I know he's fighting for that number 2 wideout spot, but they still haven't figured out who it is.
Well, Whedon's been dropping the ball a lot.
Whedon's been dropping the ball. I believe he was targeted in the red zone or caught a touchdown last game, though. So you never know who that second wide receiver in Pittsburgh, who's going to blow up, which is why he's a fight or flight player. And I think Coates has the best opportunity for a cheap price. He could go deep and snag you a couple balls, lots of yards, and maybe a touchdown. And
you have Revis that's going to be covering Antonio Brown one-on-one, so that might leave some opportunities for Sammy Coates to go deep.
There you go.
Fantasy Flatliner.
All right, my fantasy flatline, a.k.a. a bust of the week, is Latavius Murray. I wrote this before we heard that he might actually have a turf toe injury, so we don't even know if he's going to play. But these are my stats for why you should not start him anyways. He's only averaging 10 carries a game for 43 yards. He doesn't have a single touchdown. He's got 3 touchdowns, in 4 games. So if he doesn't score a touchdown, he's not really worth it. San Diego has a horrible pass defense, but they are ranked 7th in their rushing defense, only giving up 82 yards a game. And if he plays, it's going to be about a 50-50 split between him and your buddy DeAndre Washington. So it is not worth the money that you're paying for him. Latavius Murray, my flatline of the week.
Picking 2 people that are hurt already, huh, Nick?
Well, you get breaking news at the last minute.
Yep, that's what happens.
But hey, you don't know.
The guy is drunk.
So
don't play him. I mean, if you're gonna have a flatline that's hurt, I feel like that just pays off right there.
Flatline.
That's a huge flatline.
Guaranteed flatline. All right, tournament game. My fantasy flatliner for the week, going up against the second best run defense in the league in the Jets, is Le'Veon Bell. How much you got to pay for him? I don't think he's going to perform with how much he's going to want. He's $7,500. $7,500 on DraftKings.
He's $8,600 in FanDuel.
So you're looking
number 2 rushing defense, man.
They've given up 80. I think they average giving up 80 yards a game, and only giving up 2 touchdowns in rushing. I'd rather take my chances in the air with that. I'm going to stay away from Le'Veon this week.
He's probably a top 3 back as far as pricing goes in DraftKings and FanDuel. Hard to bet against Pittsburgh right now with that offense looking the way it is, but I got to agree with you guys that rushing defense up there is no joke, and I just don't think Bell is going to get the full amount of carries, especially with D'Angelo Williams.
Still going to be working.
Yeah, so
I think it'll be a couple weeks before Le'Veon. I mean, game speed, game shape is something different, and D'Angelo did so well. They're not just going to put him on the bench.
But if you're strictly just doing rushing, I think he's going to be a complete bust. But I think he's going to have an element in the passing game.
Yards, yeah.
We talked about we don't know who the number 2 receiver is. It legitimately could be Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
So he might get you some points there to make up, but he's not going to be worth the price that you're paying for him.
All right, guys. My flatliner this week, I'm going with a Colts player, and I feel like you could probably just put any Colts player in here, but I'm picking Andrew Luck. I don't trust the guy. I mean, he's supposed to be the next Peyton Manning. Everybody loves him on TV. He's got this great personality. Oh,
horrible beard.
Luck is in the air, you know.
Neck beard.
Look at your guys' beard compared to his.
Yeah,
you guys are way better.
Oh my God,
oh,
look at this.
Glistening.
Honestly, Luck shouldn't be doing as many commercials because he needs to work on how to throw the ball and hit wide open receivers.
Well, if he could play offensive line, then he might do a little better.
Yeah,
to be an offensive line that's struggling.
It might not just be him. It could be the offensive line. Regardless, I'm not picking him. For the price, you're looking at like maybe $100 or $200 more. You can grab a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers. Much better plays this week for tournament games than Andrew Luck. Dr. Healy, what do you got for your essential player?
My essential pick of the week. This is going to be Julian Edelman. I like this guy a lot. With Brady, he has been fed the ball a ton, and Gronk with his issues, he's going to be killing it. Last year, he had 9 regular season games for 692 yards and 7 touchdowns and 61 receptions. I think he's going to be in tune for about 75 yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns this week.
I like that. They give me more than that. My essential pick is going to be throwing the ball to your essential pick, Tom Brady.
Hey-o!
Yeah, Tom Brady.
You like that?
Yep.
You like that?
Tom Brady, you said he's been away from the team for 4 weeks. You God know well that he's been talking to the team. He's probably got some burner phone he's texting from. He's talking to Daniels on the weekly.
It'll be another
talking
scandal.
About game plans. They ain't gonna find
burner phone gate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Burner phone gate.
He's pulling up with his hoodie like Belichick.
Yeah.
Got like a anonymous face mask on or something.
Yep.
Are we just pumped for this game?
Dude,
I mean, come on.
Like
he's on the dark web.
I told you this before. This is what the Patriots do. They show up and then they put it to the man in Goodell, and they're going to run every possible stat in this game through Tom Brady just to make it like a career game, just to be like, Goodell, just don't do this.
They're going
to
up
me
against
anymore.
Cleveland, which you said before. They gave up 10 touchdowns in the 4
I think
games.
he's had 4 or 5 touchdown games versus Cleveland in his career or something like that. Want to know the last playoff game that the Browns won? You know who the head coach was?
I think it was Belichick.
It was Belichick.
In the freaking mid-90s.
It was Belichick.
As they say, Belichick is going to say like they
Bill
said.
Belichick.
Suck it.
In Belichick we trust.
In Belichick we trust.
Okay, well, Dr. Curry, what do you got for your essential play in
For
tournament
my
games?
essential play in tournament games, I'm going with Jordy Nelson, and that's not just a homer pick, you guys. Jordy Nelson.
There it was.
Jordy Nelson is Aaron Rodgers' number 1 receiver. He's looked great since they've been back together. They missed 1 or 2 back shoulder throws that could have been the difference in the Vikings game. Seriously.
Child, please.
I'll give myself a child.
Child, please.
But honestly, I mean, they missed a couple back shoulder throws there. Those 2 don't do that. This is a bye week. They had plenty of time to throw the ball around to each other. They're going to be on the same page. They're going up against a beat-up Giants team in secondary that just got beat down by the Vikings. Another primetime game. Aaron Rodgers is awesome in primetime. I see Jordy scoring at least 1 touchdown, maybe going off for 2.
Okay.
So,
all right.
We're going to move on to our cash games. Remember, the cash games are there to supplement your tournament games. I would highly recommend playing 2 times the amount cash games you do in tournament games, meaning if you're playing $10 in tournament games, play $20 in cash games so that at least you can win your money back that you lose in tournament games.
Seems to be working for us. I don't know.
Ideally, you win them all, and then you just like triple up. But again, remember double ups, triple ups. Play the big $5 double ups or 50%ers where 50% of the leagues win or the players win, and then try your skills against someone else who's not listening to the Fantasy Sport Doctors, and I can guarantee you guys are going to come away with a win. So moving on to the cash games.
All right. My fight or flight player for cash games is Trevor Siemian or any Denver Broncos quarterback.
I like it.
Ooh, oh my God, did he just say that?
Oh, that just happened. Oh.
I like it.
The reason being, Atlanta has given up at least 30 fantasy points to the opposing quarterbacks every single game this year. And Trevor Siemian's already thrown a 4-touchdown game.
There you go.
Why can't he do it again with
He
weapons?
can do it with one arm. He can do it with one arm.
It's not his throwing arm.
I
Doesn't
know.
need it.
He's even at home. He could throw 4 at home.
Oh, it's slighter air up
He could
there.
probably throw farther.
Oh, yeah. He's a strong guy.
Air's thinner up there.
And to be honest, Paxton Lynch looked really good last week when you did fill in for him. So it could be either or. I don't really
he's
care
our
who starts
franchise
for him.
quarterback
I'm
now.
expecting him to at least get 20 to 24 points in Fanduel or DraftKings, and that's going to be plenty for what he costs.
I like it. Okay. My fight or fight player for this week in cash games is Dontrell Inman. Ooh. I know you'd like that one.
Straight cash, homie.
Yep. Dontrell Inman. He's San Diego's receiver. Probably haven't heard a lot about him. He had 12 targets last week, and he caught 7 for 120 and a touchdown.
Loving it.
I like it. And he's playing in the highest scoring game this week in the Oakland-San Diego game, his divisional game.
Cheapest receiver that San
He's-
Diego has.
He's 4,100 in DraftKings, and he's not even on my page in FanDuel here, but he's
Who screwed that one up?
It's because it's Oakland that we have winning,
yeah.
not San Diego.
I know that's
Boy.
true.
Anybody can be beat.
So Dontrell Inman, he's going to get a lot of balls thrown to him. I love him this week. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah, I think Dontrell Inman versus Tyrell Williams, they're $600 apart, and we don't really know which person's going to get more targets. From what we've heard,
They're both going to have opportunities.
Tyrell's
though.
not
yeah,
a bad
they're going to get opportunities, but from what we've heard, Phillip Rivers is actually preferring Inman right now.
He's a bigger target.
Yeah, he's been on the field for about 80 to 90% of the snaps compared to Williams is right around 60. So I feel like Inman's gonna be your guy.
Good.
Maybe Inman's a little more polished, and Williams is maybe more like a raw target, athletic guy. Healy, I'm going with you. My fight or flight player for cash games is going to be catching the ball from Simeon. I got Emmanuel Sanders.
I love Emmanuel Sanders. He's got
love
more
it.
targets and more receiving yards than Demaryius Thomas.
And the reason why I'm going with Sanders is he's middle of the pack priced. He's gotten a ton of targets this year. He's a ball catching machine. He's that guy that is basically Simeon's safety blanket.
Yep.
You know, he's the guy who's trustworthy, who's going to get the ball and hold on to it. And he's got maybe a higher floor, lower ceiling, but he also has the opportunity to score a couple touchdowns. He's got some moves out there.
Dr. Curry, this is a little weird. We are agreeing way too much this week.
Way too much.
That never happens.
I don't know if I like it. I don't
like
We're gonna have to have a bet later in the show just to make myself feel a little bit normal.
Oh, I got a bet for you. I got one right here.
Dish it.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was born ready.
I'll take Houston.
Oh, you knew he was going to take that one. I mean,
I'm taking that one for sure.
I'll take Houston straight up.
Just a money line.
You're doing
straight
up.
I think Houston comes into Minnesota and beats the Vikings.
Well, you are down quite a few beers to me. I think that's 3 beers I'm up right now. I will be willing to bet all 3 beers.
To my.
It's a 6-pack or nothing.
Well, no.
Yeah, it's 6-pack and double or
Those
nothing.
are terrible odds, you guys. Come on. I'm taking the team that's.
I'm giving you the chance
You're
to get even.
You're gonna wipe your debt clean if you win this.
Oh, you owe me a beer if I win.
No,
Plus I wiped
you
the
are
slate.
down 3 beers to me. You're down 3 beers total to me with the previous bets.
I'll take it. Let's do this.
So this is going to be double or nothing, but here's the kicker. If you lose, you have to do a shotgun on the air
I'll
of
do it,
Natty
yeah.
Ice, 3 beers.
Natty Ice.
3 Natty Ice
You want
shotguns.
me to shotgun 3 in a row?
Yep, you don't know me
Wow.
6.
Someone's gonna have to drive him home.
Okay. All right. I'll do 1. I'll say you have to do at least 1. You will be. Okay, would you say 1 Natty Ice on the air?
No,
shotgun.
I'll do 2. We'll split the difference.
Okay, we'll do 2, and then you can just pay me the other
Different
4
times.
either.
Maybe I'll start the show off with 1 and
Okay.
I'll end the show with 1.
And then if I lose, even though technically I don't owe you a beer if I lose, I will be willing to get down on a knee and shotgun a beer on there.
Will you do a Smirnoff Ice for me?
That's so
Smirnoff
weird.
Ice.
I'll be ice. Yes. Okay. I'll be ice.
Let's do this.
All right. Pleasure.
Boom. Love it.
God, I cannot wait.
All right. Well, let's move on. You can't get any better than that, right?
No.
Fantasy Flatliner.
All right, I know this guy just killed it for over 300 yards last week, but they're going up against Denver Broncos, who are third ranked in the passing game. Julio Jones is my flatline of the week. Let me break down a few stats for you by week. In week 4 to Mike Evans, their number one, had 5 receptions for 55 yards and 0 touchdowns. Week 3, Cincinnati, A.J. Green, who went off last week, had 8 receptions for 77 yards and 0 touchdowns. Indianapolis, T.Y. Hilton, 4 receptions for 41 yards and 0 touchdowns. Kind of a trend. I'm thinking Julio Jones doesn't get more than 75 yards and probably not even a touchdown. He's my fantasy flatline of the week, and he's costing you $8,900 in FanDuel.
He's 96 in DraftKings because he's my fantasy flatliner for the week.
I got one other point. The last time he played the Denver Broncos, granted it was a couple years ago, he had 4 receptions for 14 yards and 0 touchdowns.
Yeah. I think this is a way you can separate yourself in cash games who people maybe don't know what they're doing. Oh, Julio, I had 300 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. Oh, I'm going to play him. Oh, I have to pick him, and you're playing the best defense in the league.
Yeah. And he's dead.
And you got nothing out of him. And you paid way too much for him. Yeah, maybe he comes close to 100 in just receiving. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he catches a touchdown, only has 20 yards receiving. But how much you have to pay for him, that's a flatliner in my book. You need to see 20 points at least out of him.
Yeah.
If you're paying $9,600 in DraftKings, he's not getting anywhere near 20 points.
Especially DraftKings, because DraftKings usually costs less than FanDuel.
Yep.
FanDuel is only $8,900. So
I'm staying way clear of Julio this week versus Denver's defense.
if he's in your regular lineup, yes, sure.
If you season long with him, you still got to play him. But
if you're doing daily, just get him the hell out of your lineup.
I'd sit him maybe.
Depending on who I have.
Who you have on your bench.
I was debating. I had this question today. It was, do I start Julio Jones or Fitzgerald or Marvin Jones? Pick one to drop, one to sit. And I was torn.
We all said Fitz.
We said Fitz.
I said
you
Fitz.
said the same thing.
I said Fitz, yeah.
We said Fitz.
I said Fitz.
Stanton throw to him.
Exactly.
Short week.
Yeah.
But it was debatable. I know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Right.
I think Fitz maybe does get more targets. It's just whether or not the ball's on target.
Exactly.
Or if he has enough time.
Stanton is so damn bad. Come on.
Yeah, he's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
My flatliner this week for cash games, and remember cash games, we're picking players who consistently score higher floors, lower ceilings, is Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy has been below that 2.5 point mark that we look for, or 2.5 times the salary value that we look for on DraftKings and FanDuel when we're trying to project points, and up against a decent rushing defense in the Giants. I mean, I know they did have Asiata and McKinnon both score touchdowns, but those are basically goal line carries. They didn't put up a whole ton of yards rushing wise. I'm staying away from Eddie Lacy this week.
Okay. All right.
He'll be cheeseburgering it. That's for damn sure.
Cheeseburger.
Hello.
Dr. Healy, what do you got for your essential player this week for cash games?
My essential player this week is a guy that scored 3 touchdowns last week. He's being targeted more than their number one, is Michael Crabtree. He's costing you $6,900. San Diego's defense is ranked 28th in the league, giving up 290 yards per game, and they've already given up 7 touchdowns in just 4 games. He's killing it. I'm saying he's going to be targeted. I think you could pick, to be honest, this could be either Amari Cooper or Michael Crabtree. And with the recent news of the defensive back for San Diego going
Jason
out.
Verrett, going out for the season.
I would actually want to almost switch this to Amari Cooper, but you could really play both of them.
Yeah, their targets are almost identical. I think Amari is a little bit under on targets. Crabtree has 4 touchdowns. Just Amari hasn't ended up catching one in the end zone yet.
It's a red zone production that Crabtree has done. He was last week. Crabtree was targeted 3 times and caught all 3 touchdowns. Cooper was targeted twice and missed on both.
We're only
so it's
a
just
quarter.
A production.
We're
yes.
only a quarter of the way through
By the end of the season, I'm expecting Cooper to have more.
You're going to get a 2-touchdown game here or there out of Cooper. He's going to be right back in the mix with Crabtree.
But he's
Crabtree.
Yeah.
I like Crabtree. I'm going to be honest. They target him a lot in the red zone. Mm-hmm. They went to him with the game on the line for a fade, very first game of the year, and he came down with it. That was
pretty
trust
ballsy.
factor.
I like
that's
it.
That's
cool.
X factor.
Yep.
So I'm okay with either of them. You pick Amari Cooper or Crabtree. It doesn't matter. They're not that different in price anymore. So.
All right. So my essential pick for your cash games is C.J. Anderson. C.J. Anderson and the Broncos are going to be going up against a Falcons rush defense who's given up only 2 touchdowns, average 102 yards given up a game, but a lot of their linebackers are out this week. We talked about Witherspoon possibly being doubtful this game, a couple other injuries, linebacking crew. Having a Simeon who might be hurt and playing, or a Paxton Lynch that might be, new to the system, you're going to lean on your run offense to control the clock, to move the ball forward, and to take pressure off your quarterback. And Gary Kubiak is a run-first coach.
For sure.
He does a lot of the play-action stretch like when he was in Houston. And I think CJ is going to have a huge day. I think a lot of Broncos are going to have a very big day, but I think CJ is going to be one of them.
I think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game, to be honest, and I think the Broncos are going to put up a lot of points. And I'm telling you guys, I think the Falcons are going to surprise some people, and they're going to be able to put up points on this Denver defense.
Keep pace.
They're going to. I mean, not real close. I expect this to be a touchdown win at least for the Broncos. But
I think the spread's 6, right?
This was my second most excited. The most excited I was to watch the game. The first one was going to be the Brady and Cleveland game, and then it was going to be this game. But this is now my third because I cannot wait for the Minnesota-Houston game because the sight of you having to do a shotgun of a disgusting natty ice, it's just going to make my day.
Have you seen Will Fuller against Trey Waynes? See ya.
Hey, Periscope.
Trey Waynes did just fine.
Yeah.
Trey Waynes did just fine.
Well, Fantasy Sport Doctors will be on site for the Minnesota game this week, so
Periscope.
Check out Periscope. We'll be at the game here.
Well, we'll also be doing the two
start him, sit him.
Yeah.
2 people who aren't going will be.
It looks like we have a lot of fun. I went to the Ryder Cup on Sunday.
Oh yeah, yep.
You going to the Vikings game? Do you do anything fun?
No.
That sucks to suck.
Yeah. Give myself the toilet flush.
All right, so we're done. We're gonna move on to the.
Whoa. I got an essential play.
Oh yeah, I forget.
We always forget about him.
He has
I
a
don't
pick
know.
too. I forget about
okay.
that. Let me guess. It's do they wear green?
Do they wear green
Do
and
they
gold?
green and
I'm
gold?
tired of hearing about it.
Well, no, I got 2 players actually.
Oh, because one has to be green and gold, right?
One wears green and gold. The other one are black and silver.
Okay.
All right, let's see what you got.
The essential cash player obviously is going to be Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
I can't argue, but
you really can't. I mean,
I'm not
prime time
surprised.
games, this guy is unbelievable. I mean, he throws at least 3 touchdowns a primetime game. He's over 300 yards. You're going to have to pay for him, but he's going to be one of the highest scoring players on the slate. Derek Carr, another
Love it.
a
I like that one.
value
I like that one.
quarterback.
Love
He's coming in at like $600-700 less than your top quarterbacks, and he's playing the worst passing defense, one of the worst in the league.
And they lost their top corner on top of
He's
it.
$1,000 less than what Aaron Rodgers is.
$1,000 less. You can make up some ground in other places there, and Carr is definitely going to throw a few touchdowns. So those are my essential plays of the week. Moving on, we have our prescription to win.
Let's win some money.
This is the planned portion. It's where we physically pick a DraftKings lineup and a Fanduel lineup. And you guys, if you guys want to play and win money like we do, like literally last week our lineup won money in a tournament game. I mean, you could play the exact same lineup and win money with us.
Especially if you put it in a cash game.
We could be like high fives around.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So
And just let us know. Take a picture and put it up on our Facebook or
Facebook, Instagram. Tag us on Twitter if you're using our lineups and it pays off for you guys. I mean,
let us know,
man.
Hey, we grow by referrals, right?
You guys let us know. Mention you guys on the air. That's for sure.
Awesome.
All right, we're going to start with our DraftKings lineup. Our quarterback we're talking about is baby boy Tom Brady. And then we got running back, which is Dr. Mitch's essential pick of the week, is C.J. Anderson. And a guy we barely even mentioned, but because Latavius Murray's hurt, and this guy is so damn cheap.
So cheap.
And you're allowed to do so many things with their lineup. That is going to be DeAndre Washington for the Oakland
I tell you what, that was a great call on your part.
Yep.
That was a great call.
That was a last-minute switch in our lineups just before we started this podcast. Way low owned. He's going to be way cheap. It's going to allow you to do so many things, and you'll see as we start naming off the rest of this lineup here.
I mean, you guys, there's a couple of good apps that you can download to get up to date like fantasy information as far as fantasy football, fantasy hockey, whatever it is. Dr. Healy and I actually use SleeperBot.
Yeah, SleeperBot's been killing it.
SleeperBot, B-O-T, bots.
Yep.
SleeperBot.
To the minute.
And it literally, I mean, they are on their stuff. They're talking about, they're sifting through tweets on Twitter. They're through
it's a
social media.
Yep.
Bleacher Report's a good one too.
Bleacher Report.
I've used a score app too, but out of all the apps I've used, SleeperBot is by far the fastest.
Yeah, they're. I mean, we literally popped up and said, Latavius Murray's got a toe injury and he wants to play, but it's looking like he's not. So obviously what you do is you take him out of your lineups until you hear more on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
and DeAndre, that's his name?
DeAndre Washington.
Huge sleeper. I think, what is he, only like $3,800 or something, or not even?
He's super cheap. He was like
$3,400 in DraftKings.
4,700 or something.
If he ends up starting against San Diego, I mean, he catches the ball well out of the backfield. He's got huge value.
Upside.
Yeah,
he's gonna be splitting some carries with Jalen Rodgers, but I think he's gonna get the bulk of it for sure.
Sure.
So, bleeding off of that, being so cheap, you're going to hear our wideout crew here is quite nice. We have Julian Edelman, Emmanuel Sanders, and Jordy Nelson. That's
please.
I like that receiving crew for my DraftKings lineup. That's going to be huge for us. What do we have in the tight end, flex, and D over here, Dr. Curry?
For the tight end, we're actually going Richard Rodgers. And the reason why we're going Richard Rodgers is because Jared Cook's out this week with I think it's a knee and an ankle injury. But again, Richard Rodgers, I guess he always has that opportunity to catch a Hail Mary, right?
Well, yeah, but he did catch a touchdown 2 weeks ago as well. So he's been targeting in the red zone. So that leaves even more opportunity
for
there.
our flex. We talked about it earlier. Dontrell Inman. We're going to take him over any of the other
end zone.
Yeah, he's
going to get a lot of targets, especially in DraftKings. That's a point per target there.
Take him over any of the other San Diego receivers. He's just as good a bet to catch a touchdown and to score some points for you. We're going to end it with the Vikings defense here. I'm a little shaky on this one now with my bet with Healy, but
I cannot wait to win this bet. So excited.
You guys
so excited.
Just watch and learn. Watch and learn.
I have been learning. I won almost every bet against you, and it's going to keep them paying off.
So.
There you go.
All righty, moving on to the FanDuel lineups.
All right, our FanDuel, we have a quarterback and 2 running backs, and we're taking the exact same 2 running backs we had in the previous one just because the value we can get for them, the C.J. Anderson and DeAndre Washington. But we're switching over to the silverback of David Carr for our quarterback.
All right. You just did the backs here?
Yep.
Well, we have the same running backs.
Same running backs,
We moved to Derek Carr instead.
Yep. So we're going to kind of stick with the Raiders. We got Amari Cooper, Antonio Brown, and Jordy Nelson again.
Tell me about those 3 wide receivers. Come on. All 3 of them in one lineup?
That's what you can do when you find a value at another position in DeAndre Washington. You can have those kind of lineups when it comes to those 3 receivers. This is going to be wonderful.
We picked Brown because he's the best receiver in the league. He gets a ton of balls, and Big Ben loves to throw the ball to him. So he's a huge part of that offense. If the Steelers are going to win, they're going to win with Antonio Brown.
It's going to be through him, yeah.
Yep. So to finish it up, we had Hunter Henry, who Antonio Gates is not playing. Oakland's traditionally been terrible against the tight end position. So we're going with Hunter Henry.
He paid off for us last week.
Yeah, he has a great opportunity to get in the end zone. We're going with a kicker, Matt Prater.
Indoors?
Indoors. You always got to go indoors with kickers.
Against a good Philadelphia defense.
Yep. So they're going to be kicking some field goals. And then we're going to finish it off with the Steelers defense, which is a lot better this year than people assumed.
Playing against Fitzpatrick, no one's fearing the beard this year, that's for sure.
No, he did throw 4 interceptions.
No one's fearing the beard.
Was it 6 interceptions he threw that game?
No, he's thrown like 6 or 7 in 2 games.
They lost Decker. Bad. Marshall's a little banged up right now. Forte's a little banged up. I feel like that offense is going to have a tough time this weekend. So.
Yeah.
I'm excited to win a lot of money this weekend.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait.
See it coming. Connect with us. Go to our website, www.fantasysportsdrs.com. Check us out.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Fantasy Sport Doctors. Check us out. Follow us. Tweet at us. Anything you guys want, questions. On Sunday mornings.
Periscope
right here. We're going to be doing Stardom Sit-'em.
And you can actually come in and check out the we give you pretty good. I didn't tally them up, but I think we were like 10 or 12 for 16 on games last week on picking the right winners. So, if you guys are betting on games in Vegas, check us out because we're giving our picks for take the spread or bet the under, bet the over, that kind of stuff. So
we'll be doing 10 o'clock Central Time.
Yep. Right about 10:15, we'll get wrapped up.
Around about, maybe.
And then we are also doing
late.
a contest to let everybody know if you like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll be giving away a jersey of your choice.
Yep.
Don't forget, this is going to be on Stitcher and iTunes. We will see you guys next week.
Take care, guys.
Out.
See ya.